Welcome back to Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. I'm personal financial planner, columnist, and financial therapist Rick Kahler. Research tells us that 90% of all financial decisions are made emotionally, not logically. For nearly 4 decades, I've been helping people make better money decisions. So what makes my financial worldview different from most financial experts? I blend the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Good money decisions are not just about the money. So let's get started with today's episode. Welcome back to another edition. So, this particular edition, we're going to focus on finding and having a discussion with not all, but at least one of these money managers, these parts that we've talked about in the previous session that are all part of our internal financial system. So we've been talking about, just like in internal family systems, we have a lot of different parts of us that relate to each other and have an interior dynamic, just like the people that comprise a family have a particular system, protocols, a way they interact with each other that have all been put into place by history, by generational rules, by woundings, and just the history of every player and how they view the world. And so this can create quite a rich and complex web in which these players all operate. And the one thing that always sticks with me when someone first explained family systems theory to me was that all the players have roles, like the hero, the scapegoat, the joker, all of these roles that people in families can play. And that, for example, the black sheep of the family, which would be typically the scapegoat, a lot of what I want to say, normal human thinking is, if we get rid of the scapegoat, everything's going to be fine. And this is like the plague. I remember Richard Rohr suggesting that scapegoating people, things, groups, countries was just one of the oldest plagues upon humanity that there was, because it doesn't work. When we get rid of the scapegoat, there's a new one that steps into its place. So the problem isn't the perceived scapegoat, it's the system that has dynamically caused the scapegoating. So we have that same system within us internally, and a subset of that internal family system is what I'm calling the internal financial system. All these parts of us that have played various roles in how we view, how we manage, how we do money. So a start in getting to modifying money scripts is to begin to understand the dynamics of our internal financial system. And basically, this is we start this process by getting to know our money scripts, and we've spent a lot of time in this podcast on that. And if you haven't done that, you can look for the KMSI-R online, and that will get you started in coming up with some money scripts that you have. But we've talked a lot about this, so I assume at this point in time, finding out money scripts you have, like you got to work harder for money, um, money is hard, rich people are evil, just all the unlimited number of money scripts that we can, parts of ourselves, believe. So I want you to be thinking about a money script that you have, and maybe even a specific part that we've already uncovered in your internal financial system. We've talked about, entrepreneurial parts, parts that save, parts that control. We talked about the sales department, parts that want to spend, um, spend for joy, spend for safety, just all the various parts within you. And what we want to do is to take some time and just get to know one of those parts. So what I'd like you to do is, let's just start this by getting comfortable. Traditionally, you may be wanting to sit in a chair with a straight back, or potentially lie on the floor. This just helps the inner emotional and physiological alignment, so that we can access parts of ourselves, really access our body, our feet, firmly on the floor. So that would be uncrossing legs, or just in some way getting into a comfortable position that you can stay in for, let's say 15-ish minutes. And along with this, starting to take some deep breaths, slowing down your breathing a little bit, not with a whole lot of intentionality on the speed, but just some slow, deep breaths, just in and out. And we want to focus on this because it helps us to begin to calm the monkey mind of our mind going here and there. And this is inevitable. You're going to have some monkey mind. If you have a thought, just see if you can bookmark it and say you'll get back to that thought as we do this meditation. Maybe it will help just to write it down very quickly on a piece of paper. But just ask all the parts of yourself just to give you just these few precious moments, just to do some internal exploration. And we can start focusing by just focusing on your breath, noticing it. What's the quality of the breath? What's it feel like to breathe deeply? And the exhale, just really focusing your attention on that breath. And just taking another couple moments to really becoming present, grounding within yourself, and being with the breath. So now let's begin by convening all the parts of yourself that have various money scripts. Thinking about all the money scripts that you've noticed in the past few episodes. And the parts that carry those money scripts. And invite them all. You might imagine having maybe a circle where they can come in and take a comfortable seat. And realize they're not you. This is called unblending. Just unblend from you a little bit so that you can be with them and they can be respectfully quiet as they listen, and they're part and present of this meditation. And it might help your parts to know that the more that they unblend from you, the more that they realize they're not you, that they're a part of you. This can give them a little space so that you, the true self, the true you, can be with them. So just working gently with these parts to be aware that they're a part of you. You're just inviting them all to become part of this exercise. And there may be some parts that don't want to, and that's okay. Just give them a chance to gather. As you do this, you just might take kind of an inventory of what parts are showing up. You might take an inventory of the parts in the various money scripts that these parts have. And what I would invite you to do is to invite one of these parts to state an extreme or a true money script, a money script that they just see as absolutely true, that there can't be any other way around this. Maybe it's that rich people are evil. Maybe it's that you got to work hard for money. Whatever that is. Just a really true money script, because we've talked about how money scripts are contextual and how no money script is 100% true or 100% false. And you'll have parts that have a problem with that statement. That how can this not possibly be true? And maybe you notice this part is being part of a problematic financial behavior as a result of the belief of this particular money script. And there may be several money scripts that kind of fall into this category. And let the parts that hold those money scripts know that you can do this same meditation with them. At another time, you can easily play this back and work with another part. But for now, for this particular exercise, just focus on one part's money script. And again, as you're focusing on this belief, as you're focusing on this money script, see if you can unblend from that part that believes the script, helping them to realize that you are not this money script. It's not you who believes this money script. It's just a part of you that believes it. As you do this, there may be other parts that have differing views, different feelings about this money script, opinions, judgments about this money script. And that's normal, and that's perfectly okay. And remind them that you'll hear more from them another time. It's not you that has these judgments. It's not you that have these differing views or a polarizing view or a view that you shouldn't have that money script, whatever it is. Those are other parts of you. Just let them know that you hear them and their views are legitimate and with good intentions, but you just want to work with this one part right now. So asking those other parts, if they would just step back, just trust you to become curious about this part that you've selected to work with and understanding, wanting to understand more about that money script. And you'll have time to visit them and their concerns. And if they're willing to do that, that's great. Maybe they're not willing to do that, and that's okay too. You can continue to dialogue with them. Maybe you need to hear a little bit more about what they would say. And maybe when they know that you have taken them seriously and heard them, they'll be willing to step back and give you a little space to be with this one part that really wants to be heard. So now repeat this part's money script just slowly, several times. And notice where in your body or around your body that you might sense that part. Do you notice any sensations? Hot, cold, prickly. Are there any one-word emotions attached to it? Anger, fear, sadness, hurt. A host of other potential emotions. Or if there aren't any emotions or any sensations, how about any images that come up as you focus on the part that has this money script? And as you're doing this, if you are aware of any curiosity or compassion that's arising toward this part, extend that curiosity and compassion to the part. Just let it know that you're really curious about it without judgment. Or you feel some compassion, whatever comes up, stay with that part of you for a moment and just notice what's arising without judgment. Any parts that want to judge you, ask them just if they give you a little space and step back just for a moment. So now if it feels right and it's available to you, ask this part of you what the circumstances were or what the situation was when this money script first appeared in its life. What were the circumstances? And as they share it with you, you could ask them to give it to you in small enough segments so that remembering doesn't overwhelm you. And that will also let the other parts of you that have stepped back stay with it as it shares. And as it's sharing with you, and maybe the part doesn't know or doesn't remember, that's okay. But whatever they are sharing with you, I'd invite you to let that part know that your self energy, is hearing them, getting them. So as it's speaking to you, let the part know that you're getting that you're hearing them. Maybe ask the part, how is it for that part to know that it has your attention and that you're listening? How is it to be heard for that part? If that part indeed feels heard. Next, ask the part what the hopes that it had in believing this money script. What were the hopes that this part of you had in believing this money script would produce? What was its intention? What was the outcome that it had in believing this money script? And just listen to what this part says. Again, asking any parts that might have judgment to step back. You just want to be with this part in self energy, with curiosity, compassion, and non-judgmental, because this is this part's experience. What were they hoping for when they adapted this money script? Now you might ask the part what they fear if this money script wasn't true. If this belief, if this money script wasn't true, what would they fear would be the consequence or would happen? And again, listen to what they say. Just gently asking any parts that are coming in with judgment, any logical parts, thinking parts, just to step back and allow this part to speak about its fear. And now, before we begin closing, invite this part to share anything else that they want you to know about this money script. And now when you've heard, remembered, and felt what this part shared with you, let the part know that you heard it. You felt the emotions that they had, and thank it for having this time with you. And again, maybe even let it know what you got about it. That these things made sense to you. If they did, let it know that this made sense. And then thank the rest of your parts for respectfully and quietly listening if they did, for stepping back and giving you a little space just to be with this part. If some came in and out, remind them that they can also have this one-on-one time with you so that they too can be equally witnessed and understood. And finally, notice what it feels like to be unblended from your parts around money scripts. If you're feeling some of the qualities of self-energy, and qualities of self-energy are clarity, calmness, courage, confidence, compassion, connectedness, patience. Then send your self-energy, send that energy out to all of the parts in your internal financial system. And maybe take another minute to reflect on how this meditation felt for you. How did it feel for all the various parts of yourself? And I would encourage you in coming out of this meditation when you're ready to take down a few notes if desired. Because often we go to places that we're not necessarily going to remember quite as well. If we can grab those thoughts immediately. When we're coming out of the meditation, it can be some rich material. And you might want to turn this off as you jot down some thoughts. So I hope this was helpful to you. I know it is often pretty impactful for folks. It's kind of a first step in starting to witness and understand your parts around money scripts. There could be some emotions that come up around this. Be gentle and kind with yourself. You might want to do this meditation again with other parts of yourself, other parts that have money script, and see what comes out from that. And what enlightenment there is, because we know every financial behavior or belief makes perfect sense when we understand the story of the part and how that money script was formed. So thank you. If you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me, Rick at rickkahler.com. And do keep a little journal if you're going to be serious about doing this work. I think it'll pay some pretty good dividends for you in starting to kind of put together the pieces of your internal financial system and how they relate to one another. So, thank you, take care, and I look forward to joining you again next time. Thanks for joining me, Rick Kahler, for another episode of Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. This is where I combine the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Remember, every financial behavior, whether it appears illogical to you or others, makes perfect sense when we understand the underlying beliefs, feelings, and thoughts. Sign up for my weekly blog at financialawakenings.com. I hope you'll join me again for our next episode.